Welcome, everybody. We'll try it this time. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the GioMoShow, right here on 88.3 FM WXOU, Auburn Hills, Michigan, Oakland University, and we have finished the station identification. I'm your host of the GioMoShow, Giovanni Mosheri. I'm also the sports media director here at WXOU, and the GioMoShow is your home for all Oakland sports and beyond on 88.3 FM. Don't forget to follow WXOU everywhere you can on social media. You can find us on WXOU.org. You can follow us and join the WXOU Discord server to stay connected with everything you need from your favorite college radio station. While you're on the internet, while you're on social media, why don't you go give me a follow as well. We're live here on YouTube and on WXOU.org. For those on YouTube, you can see the social media on screen. But for those listening and listening afterwards on Spotify as well as YouTube and Spreaker, you can find the GioMoShow at the GioMoShow on Instagram. The show's got its own page. How about that? Be sure to give a 5-star review on Spotify. Get a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get involved in the YouTube live stream chat. And also be sure to go to WXOU Sports on YouTube. That's where we got all our full game broadcasts. That's where we got all of our highlights, our interviews, our shows, everything that you need to find, want to find from WXOU Sports will be on the YouTube channel. Got that linked all in the description below. Max, what's up, Gio? Excited to see the show today. I am as well, Eric. Thank you very much for joining us on YouTube here. Always make sure you can get involved in the show via the chat. So before we get started, I got to tell you guys about something. Got to tell you guys about something fun you guys want to do. The weather's out and nice. You feel like you want to get up and get out and to do something fun with your friends. And might I suggest an escape room? Escape rooms are an incredible way to spend time with friends, family, and loved ones. And Escapology is an escape room franchise of one of the biggest and best out there. They got a location in Mt Clemens with rooms such as Scooby-Doo, Murder on the Orient Express, The Code, and Under Pressure. You can go to www.escapology.com for all the information to get escaping with your friends. Again, that's escapology.com. Escapology is located at 82 Macomb Place in Mt Clemens. Escapology, where time is of the essence. So what do we got on the menu for today on the GioMoShow regarding Oakland sports? This will be a solo Oakland sports show once again. And the biggest headline, and you guys know if you've been following Oakland sports, you guys know if you follow me on Twitter and on social media, I've been talking all about it. The Golden Grizzlies men's basketball team won the Horizon League regular season, so we'll talk all about that. Women's basketball, they finished off their regular season as well. Both men's and women's teams celebrating their senior day as well. So we'll be talking about that. Then we'll open it up to baseball and softball as they've been continuing on their road part of the season during the colder months here in Michigan, over in California and Ohio, and continuing their out of conference, out of the area part of the season. So we'll talk about how they're doing later in the show. So let's kick things off right now. We'll start with men's basketball. We'll start with the big fish in the pond here, as men's basketball have won the Horizon League regular season. It's something that the team didn't even want at the beginning of the season. That's not where their goal was to start the season. What they wanted was the bye and the home game in the Horizon League tournament, and that requires a top 4 seed. Oakland University got that top 4 seed with the win against IUPUI. And then from there, the doors were open to chase the number 1 seed. And the chase was on. It was against Youngstown State, and it was against Green Bay. Green Bay been the team at the top for the longest time during the regular season, and Oakland was able to chase them down, continuing to stack wins while Green Bay struggled at their tougher part of their ending of the season. And it all came down to the game that happened on Saturday. It all came down to the blackout rivalry game in the Metro Series against the Detroit Mercy Titans. It all came down to that. If Oakland got the win, then they would claim sole possession of the number 1 seed. Had they lost it, they would have shared it with Green Bay. And that, as you guys I'm sure are aware, Oakland got the job done on the blacktop on senior day in front of the fans in what was the most electric atmosphere that I've seen all season. It was an atmosphere that I will selfishly claim a little bit of credit in, but I was there in the student section enjoying it, soaking it all in, and watching history unfold before my very eyes, as well as everyone else in the arena. Against the Detroit Mercy Titans, Oakland wins 75-70. We'll talk about that game in particular a little bit later on, but just to talk about more of the vibes of the game, more of the color stuff before we get a little more to the cold hard numbers of the game. But it was close throughout the entire game, and it was at a point concerning for a lot of people that were watching the game. I started to have a little bit of my hesitations when it was getting into, or when we were in the first half, and it looked like Oakland was getting in trouble getting the offense going. Detroit Mercy was sinking threes a lot at the start of the game, and I never really got to a point of despair for me when I was there experiencing the game. I knew that the Golden Grizzlies were going to be able to come out and claim the win because they kept it close all game. But, like I said, Detroit Mercy was putting up a huge, huge fight during that game. Jaden Stone was doing his thing as one of the top scorers in the Horizon League. And you had Eduardo Del Cadea, their forward from Italy. He was having a pretty good game as well, and I particularly wanted to shout him out because I was chirping at him in Italiano all game long. I had the freaking whiteboard going. I said, "Ciao, ciao, Del Cadea," written on the whiteboard. You guys go to my Instagram, you can find the picture of that. I got a little bit of action on the ESPN Plus broadcast with that, but I was chirping at him the entire game, and I will give respect where respect is due. He held strong. And during some of me screaming at him, he would make a steal, he would bat a pass, he would play good on defense. He responded well to the heckling, and I got to give respect to that. Made all 8 of his free throws, most of which were in my face, in our face, in the student section. So as much crap as I was talking and as much teasing as I was doing, huge respect to Eduardo Del Cadea of Detroit Mercy. So just wanted to give a little bit of that color as well. And continuing with the color of it, ran into some familiar faces in the Detroit sports media game. Saw a few faces from the Wake Up Woodward show from Woodward Sports Network. You had Detroit Kool-Aid, you had Matt Broder, and you had KG in the house covering Oakland basketball, trying to get some coverage going for their show on Woodward Sports Network. Got to meet them, talk with them, gave them a little bit of a scoop on Oakland's season so far, kind of the build up into this game. They had some, they got some good coverage. I got some good content for their show. More than happy to host you guys. In the future again. You guys, it was a huge pleasure and a huge honor. I didn't invite you guys. I'm not trying to claim credit for that, but meeting you guys, it meant a lot to us at Oakland. It meant a lot to us that you took interest in us, especially when it was the biggest event of the year. So we really appreciate you guys showing up and showing out. You guys were getting involved in the cheering as well, I could tell. But just wanted to give them a shout out for that game. It was an excellent experience overall, and it's one that me as a senior, I'll cherish for a long time. Absolutely will. You can't really get any bigger than that for a regular season game. We'll lay out the bullet points here. You got the last game of the regular season. You got it against your rival. You got it on a Saturday night. You got it with Oakland clinching the number 1 seed in the tournament, cutting the nets on senior day. You can't get a bigger regular season game than that. Especially the game itself was close. Again, we'll get into the cold hard facts of the game in a moment, but you had everything going into this game in terms of the spectacle, in terms of the entertainment, in terms of the memorability and historical implications. It's just you couldn't get any better than that. It's something I'll remember for a long time as soon to be a Golden Grizzly alum and all that jazz. So let's get into the cold hard facts of the game. We'll get into the box score here. Blake Lamon and Trey Townsend, 20 points and 18 points respectively. Blake Lamon, he made 5 of 10 from the three-point line. Made 3 of his free throws along with 4 assists. Trey Townsend, 6 of 13 from the floor for his 18 points, making 6 of his 8 free throws as well. 6 boards, 3 assists as well. Jack Golke, he made a triple of triples. He went 3 of 7 from beyond the arc, made both of his free throws, 5 rebounds, 5 assists for 13 points for the senior. And going down to Rocket Watts, he got 4 points. Only played a few minutes there, but there is a little bit of story behind that one. But, just wanted to give a little shine to the seniors that were playing in that game. So, like I mentioned, very close game throughout. Huge respect to Detroit Mercy in that, at least in isolation for that game. They were 1-30 on the season, so we'll put the respect as far as it needs to go. But it was a ton of fun. They made it a great game and made it a great night. So getting into a little bit more of we'll get more into the zooming out more into the general aspect of Oakland men's basketball. We'll be getting to women's basketball, baseball, and softball later on in the show, so be sure to stick around for that as well. But earlier in the week, announced before the game took place, the Horizon League All-Academic team was announced, and just my luck, the regular season awards are going to be handed out literally at the end of the show today on the Horizon League. So if no one's got an issue with it, we might stay a little bit late to get a live look at the Horizon League honors, as that will be coming out at 1 o'clock. But the all-academic honors were announced, and we had not 1, not 2, but 3 Golden Grizzlies named to the all-academic team. You had Blake Lamon and Trey Townsend in the starting lineup, and you had Chris Conway in the honorable mentions category. And especially when you got the traditional regular season awards coming out soon today, you might think to yourself, who cares? It's a less, spectacle-wise and, basketball-wise, it's a bit of a lesser award that you would think. But I encourage you not to think of it that way. You can ask any coach out there, whether from whatever age, from whatever era, from whatever level of competition they face, to be on the all-academic team, to have multiple of your players on the all-academic team, it's something that coaches take great pride in. And it's something that me, as from the GioMoShow, I'm very proud of these guys, because when you take a when you take a closer look at college athletics at any level, you look at the schedules that these players have to go through, and these players have to consistently abide by throughout the season and even in the off-season. When you look at their schedules, it's astounding the amount of hours that they put in to academics, to athletics, to the amount of hours in the day. It seems like they got 26 hours in the day as opposed to the 24 that the rest of us have. But they don't. They have the 24, but they make it work. They get it done in the classroom. They get it done on the court as well. And it's something that you got to give great praise to these players. Mixing that all in with the senior day stuff, it's something to absolutely be proud of. And the GioMoShow and WXOU are proud of Blake, Trey, and Chris for making the all-academic team. So getting more into the senior day aspect of it, the seniors were honored at the arena, and Oakland always does a good job. Women's team had their senior day as well. Once again, we'll cover that in just a little bit. But the men's team, they honored Jack Golke, they honored Rocket Watts, Blake Lamon, and Trey Townsend. And I admit, my history with Oakland basketball only goes back a couple of years. And what I'm about to say might sound a little bit naive and might sound a little bit uneducated, but given my 2 years of Oakland history, Oakland sports history, this seems like a historic senior class for the Golden Grizzlies. And the way the coaches were talking, or the way Campy was presenting these seniors, there was a lot of history going into this senior day. You get not only a very we'll call it a very popular recruit in Rocket Watts, as one of the seniors honored. You got him as a huge piece of this team. 2 years coming from the transfer portal from Michigan State, from Missouri, from now coming to Oakland, or excuse me, Mississippi, not Mississippi, but it's a historic class. He's a huge piece of it. Jack Golke coming in from 1 year from Hillsdale, made a huge impact right away with his three-point shooting, playing the Oakland style of ball of huge volume three-point shooting. It's something that Campy always likes to do. And then you get some of the more historical figures in Oakland basketball, Blake Lampman and Trey Townsend. And excuse me, tell you what, little technical difficulties going on here. We'll take a 30-second break here. We'll get back into more of the Blake Lampman and Trey Townsend stories at Oakland University. We'll be back in like 30 seconds. Do you need something fun to do with your friends? Escape rooms are an incredible way to spend time with friends, family, and loved ones. And Escapology is the largest and best escape room franchise in the world. They have escape rooms such as Scooby-Doo, Murder on the Orient Express, The Code, and Under Pressure, and another brand new themed room coming this summer. On Tuesdays through May 31st, buy one full-price ticket and a second person plays free. Use the code TWOFER. That's TWOFER. Visit Escapology.com for more information. Again, that's Escapology.com. Escapology is located at 82 Macomb Place in Mt Clemens. Escapology, where time is of the essence. And we're back here on the GioMoShow. Sorry about that, little technical difficulties. But getting back to what we were talking about earlier, talking about the seniors that were honored on Senior Day for men's basketball. Jack Golke, Rocket Watts, new additions to the Golden Grizzlies relative to those along with their senior class. Golke coming in for 1 year out of Hillsdale. Rocket Watts here a couple of years ago out of Mississippi and then previously Michigan State. But then you got Blake Lampman and Trey Townsend. Those who have been on the team for the longest, maybe we'll be a little blunt about it, they've been on the team the longest. So naturally they're going to have a little bit more of a historical significance for Oakland basketball. But it's more than just the fact that they were there for more years. It's more than the 4 and 5 seasons spent as a Golden Grizzly, resisting the temptations of the transfer portal, and a bit of a dramatic way to phrase it, but to stick with the program for that long, it is alone its own spot to be honored. But Blake Lampman coming on as a walk-on, as a blind suggestion from Travis Bader, one of the legends of Oakland basketball, former holder of many three-point shooting records in the NCAA. One day, Campy got a call from Travis, and it said, essentially, this Blake Lampman kid is good. I would want you to have him on the team. And Campy said, and Campy told this story at the senior for his senior day speech introducing Blake Lampman, but he's never seen him play before, and he took the blind suggestion of one of the greatest players in the program history, took a chance on this skinny kid from Lansing, and it just ended up working out. I'm summarizing the story here. If you'll be hearing a lot more about it, I'm sure, in the once the season's done. But essentially, Blake Lampman started from the bottom. Started as a walk-on. Started with no background, and not many other offers from universities to play ball, and made himself another one of the greatest Golden Grizzlies that have ever played. He was one of the greatest leaders that the Golden Grizzlies has ever seen. Campy says straight up, he's one of the greatest leaders, if not the greatest leader that the Golden Grizzlies have ever had. And to think that in this season, he almost didn't play. A hip injury earlier in the season could have cost him the entire season. But, you know, with enough help from the wonderful athletic training staff that Oakland has, he was able to get back on the courts. And I remember I was there calling it with Drew Allison. It was early December. It was against Toledo, a game the Golden Grizzlies lost by just a hair. But Blake Landman returned in that game and immediately 3 for 3 from 3. He was only supposed to play about 10 minutes. That's what Campy was telling us beforehand. He ended up playing close to 30. He started off on fire. You could tell he was just itching to get back. And you could tell the team felt different with his leadership. As Campy says that he knows his zone even better than he does. And you could just tell that this team had that extra spark for having their leader back. And that continued throughout the rest of the season. He became one of the most efficient three-point shooters in the Horizon League. He became one of the top scorers in the Horizon League. And almost didn't end up playing. Almost didn't even end up getting the opportunity. If it wasn't for the blind suggestion from Travis Bader, then we never would have seen Blake Landman. It almost didn't happen, but it did. And the Golden Grizzlies are much happier for it. And then they celebrated Trey Townsend. I don't mean any disrespect to Jack and Rocket, but I mean, you can tell by the ceremony, I mean, these fellas got a little more Oakland storyline to it. So, you know, I'm not embellishing Blake and Trey by diminishing the other two. I mean, that's not how it's going. But moving on to Trey Townsend and his story as an Oakland Golden Grizzly, it's not just him that has roots here at Oakland. Rather, his parents are Golden Grizzlies themselves. And through that, you know, the entire family tree history is eluding me right now, but Trey Townsend has been in the arena since he was a baby. Campy has known him since he was yay big. He's always been a Golden Grizzly. Throughout his entire life, there was no other way for him. It was family. It was where he grew up. It's where he was meant to be. Right here at Oakland University. They got pictures of him as a little kid, him and his brothers and sisters sitting in the arena. They were born, Trey and the whole family, they were meant to be here. And yeah, that'd be a cute story if Trey was just some kid off the bench. No. Trey Townsend is one of the best players in the Horizon League. We'll see at 1 o'clock if he gets the Horizon League Player of the Year, but dang it, he sure has made a case for himself. Came into this season as a first-team All-Horizon League selection. Last year, we at a potential snub, was second-team All-Horizon League. It's not just a cute story of him having Oakland roots. He's taken those roots and have grown sky high with that. He is Mr. Oakland. And he's made a huge impact for the Golden Grizzlies, the driving force for this season, playing almost all the games, being the central focus and still being able to get it done. Had a huge game at Xavier. At Xavier against the Musketeers, winning with a stat, I think it was like 28, 6, and 7. On national television, he was put on the map. He had one of his best games in the brightest spots. He is Mr. Oakland. And we thank him for everything that he's done and will continue to do for Oakland University as an ambassador for the program. and as a piece of history for the Golden Grizzlies. So I just wanted to give a little senior speech for them, but this whole senior class, got a little emotion out of me as well. I'm not trying to loop myself into their group, but me as a senior as well, it's a little different. They've meant so much to this program, and they've been, all of them have been nothing but nice to us at WXOU. They've been nothing but helpful and enthusiastic, and whenever we have an interview with them, whenever we want to do a little media with them, not much, but they were more than happy to help us out. That goes a long way. They've never big timed us, big shot at us. All four of these seniors have been nothing but a class act, and us at WXOU thank them and wish them a good luck to whatever comes up next for them, whether it's more basketball, whether it's coaching, and whether it's whatever they want to do, man. These guys are class acts. So now, getting into the picture of the Horizon League tournament for men's basketball, we'll be getting into women's basketball, baseball, and softball shortly. But as it stands right now, Oakland is the number 1 seed, and they will be hosting the lowest remaining seed on Thursday at 7 o'clock in the arena. We'll have that call on WXOU. And be sure to get out there, man. This will go into my senior speech that I'll also tack on to the end of the show here. We'll do take 2 of my senior speech. But if you guys missed the entire season, if you've never been to a game before, if you got no idea what the Horizon League is, Thursday, 7 o'clock, that's the chance to be there. That's a chance to get a taste of what the arena's about, what Oakland basketball is about, and to get to see the regular season Horizon League champions in their house fighting to get to Indianapolis for the rest of the tournament. Get out there. Go to the game. We got you on WXOU if you can't make it, but get there. Be part of the atmosphere. Be the atmosphere. Cheer on your Golden Grizzlies, because this is for it all. This is for the ticket to March Madness. This is where Oakland can get on the national stage, and you can finally say that you saw the Golden Grizzlies on their way to March Madness. And you can say that forever. You could be a part of Oakland history if you get there in the arena Thursday, 7 o'clock. If you're a student, it's free. I wanted to remind you of that. A student ID, your Grizz ID card, is all you need to get a piece of history and to witness it with your own eyes, to feel it with your own bones, and to experience it with your own heart. Get down to the arena Thursday at 7 o'clock for Golden Grizzlies against the lowest remaining seed. We'll see who they end up facing after Tuesday when the opening rounds start. So we will take a short break here at the half-hour mark. We appreciate you all tuning in to YouTube and WXOU.org for the GioMoShow here. If you're missing it right now and you just joined at 12:30, you missed the entire men's basketball segment. Don't worry, this will be uploaded as a podcast, cleaned up and cut up for you guys on YouTube and via Spreaker. Find it everywhere you get your podcasts. You can find the GioMoShow. So do not be afraid. If you're missing it, you can rewind it here on YouTube if you like, or you can find it anywhere you need to be. So before we take it into break, I got to talk to you about one of our WXOU sports shows. It's not just a GioMoShow rolling here. We got the Blue Ski Mask Show. On Tuesdays from 4 to 5, you can tune in to the Oakland Post's sports editor Brock Hillig and sports reporter Kirk Szymanski as they take you on an exhilarating ride through the world of the Detroit Lions and the Detroit Pistons. To never miss a piece of the Motor City action, tune in to the Blue Ski Mask Show. Tuesdays, 4 to 5, right here on WXOU. You can find them on WXOU Sports on YouTube, and you can find them on Spotify as well. For the Blue Ski Mask Show, to never miss a piece of the heartbeat of the city. We'll be right back here on the GioMoShow for women's basketball, baseball, and softball with a little senior speech at the end. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody, to the GioMoShow, 88.3 FM, WXOU. It's time for the second half. We talked about men's basketball. If you missed it, then you can rewind here on the YouTube live stream, or you can find it later as a podcast via YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. The GioMoShow will be there, so there's no way to miss it. But we will be talking about now women's basketball. As I made this whole spiel about how men's basketball and the night that they had in the arena, well, women's basketball had a similar night right before. So women's basketball, they faced the IUPUI Jaguars for their senior day game. That was at 2 o'clock in the arena. I was on the call for that one via color commentary. Drew Allison was on play-by-play. Justin Shepard up in the studio for that broadcast as well. But it did not end in the fireworks and the spectacularity as the men's team did, unfortunately. We just got to call it like it is. Oakland lost to the Jaguars 71-92 on senior day. We'll get to the box scores before we get into the bit of the color of the game. Markai McCormick led the Golden Grizzlies in scoring with 17 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, making 5 of 8 free throws. Alexis Johnson, 16 points, 6 of 14 from the floor, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, and 1 of 3 from 3. Brooke Quiles-Daniels, 14 points, 6 of 17, with 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, 3 steals as well. McCormick had 3 steals, and Johnson had 2 steals as well. So plenty of pickpocketing going on against the Jaguars, but it did not end the way the Golden Grizzlies would have liked to. But luckily, it will not cost them a home game in the Horizon League tournament. The women's basketball is sitting still at the 8th seed in the Horizon League, and they were right up against it with Northern Kentucky, who was the 9th seed. They both had the same record and were playing at the same time, fighting to get that home game as the 8th seed will host the 9th seed in this situation. But luckily, with Oakland losing to IUPUI, Northern Kentucky also got dumped on by Cleveland State, the number 1 seed. So Oakland will retain a home game that will be played on Tuesday at 7 o'clock in the arena against the North. So, once again, you want a piece of Oakland history. You want to be there to experience it for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity because you won't see this same team playing next year. You won't see this game any other time but now. But on Tuesday, tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the arena, you'll never get to experience it again, so be sure to get down there. Be part of Oakland history. Don't worry about if you've missed the games before. There's no better time than now for Golden Grizzlies basketball. Against Northern Kentucky, it's the 8 versus the 9, and we'll see to battle and get to the Horizon League quarterfinals and beyond. It's tournament time, man. Anything can happen. It's where March starts. They got the hashtag going for the Horizon League tournament. March starts here. And it's going to start with you guys in the arena. Again, Tuesday, 7 o'clock at the arena. So otherwise, with the flow of the game here, we'll get into a little bit of the game itself here. Like I said, we called it on WXOU. It started off to kind of paint the picture here. IUPUI was a lower seed coming into this game. But they really they were punching up all game long. And they were making darn near all their shots, man. The shots were just falling, especially in the first quarter where IUPUI shot 90.9% from the field, maybe even higher, in the first quarter alone. That dug the Golden Grizzlies in a deep hole. And throughout the game, the field goal percentage for the Jaguars diminished, but starting off at 90%. They didn't miss a field goal until I think it was like their ninth field goal. They went like 8 for 8 or 9 for 9 to start the game, including threes. But it seemed to be too deep of a hole for the Golden Grizzlies to dig out. But coming out of halftime, getting closer into the third quarter, inching towards the fourth quarter, the Golden Grizzlies were making a run. Golden Grizzlies went on an 8-0 run, shut out the Jaguars for like 3 minutes to get themselves within 11 points, to almost get it down to single digits. And you thought, we've seen Oakland dig themselves out before, specifically the Central Michigan game. A huge comeback in that game was the story, so we've seen Oakland do it. And especially after the huge overtime game that they played, the double overtime game they played against Wright State. You know, we've seen it before, but it just came up short. After allowing that run, IUPUI put the lid back on the jar for the Golden Grizzlies and kept running with it. Final score of the game, 71-92. But it was also senior day for the Golden Grizzlies for women's basketball, honoring 5 seniors for Oakland, that including Linda Van Schaik, that including Cameron Grant, that including Markai McCormick, Keani Westbrook, and Alexis Johnson. Another star-studded senior day class for Oakland University. Many of which were transfers. They did not start their careers at Oakland. I don't think any of them did. All of which transferred to Oakland University one way or another for so many years or another. And we had, I mean, like I mentioned in the men's segment, Oakland does senior days better than anybody in the country, man. They make it a ceremony. One to remember, one that gets everybody crying at all times. There's no better senior day to tears ratio in the country than at Oakland University. But we saw tribute videos made. We saw messages from teammates, from mothers, from family members, and of course from head coach Jeff Tungett, who unfortunately, due to medical complications, could not be with them for most of the season. Rather, it was Deanna Richard steering the ship in the absence of their head coach. And it was an emotional video that Jeff Tungett was, kind enough to record and give nothing but flowers and praise and, a great send-off for all 5 of the seniors in one take. All in one take, and it was a beautiful ceremony. All the time when they do it, they present the flowers, the framed jerseys, the videos, and to make a mark, and to put them in the history of Oakland University. It's beautiful, and that ceremony went down for women's basketball. Even after the game that they had, it didn't matter, because at the end of the day, luckily the matchup ended up being the way it was, and Oakland didn't lose the home game. But it was about the seniors, man. It's about the seniors. It's about the leadership on the team. It's about the legacy that they leave to the players on the team that will continue. And it's what I think is beautiful about college and high school sports. It's the turnover of players and just the nature of graduating from the school and moving on creates a lot of turnover, but the traditions that hold on, even through that, the constant passing of the torch is something that I believe to be such a beautiful thing about college and even high school sports. Or you could call it any younger sports. Of course, it happens in the professional as well, but those players get a little bit longer of a tenure. But to maintain that kind of tradition, it takes effort. It's not easy to do because, whether it's a coaching change that could possibly change the traditions, whether it's new additions to players, whether it's transfer portal stuff, to maintain a tradition and to maintain that kind of culture for any team takes work, but it's all worth it. It's all worth it for the tradition of the university, of the program, of the players, of the game. It's what it's all about, man. It's one of the things I love most about college sports. It's tradition. And then you can extend that to here at WXOU as well. Like I'm inching towards my senior speech, but we got more Oakland sports to cover here. But it's just such a beautiful thing. Any organization, WXOU included, continuing tradition is something that is a beautiful thing. So with that, once again, I remind you guys, Oakland, now as the 8th seed, will host Northern Kentucky in the arena Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Be sure to get down there. It's free. For students, it's free. Get down there. Cheer on your Golden Grizzlies. It's the tournament. It's tournament time. It's where March starts. Get down there to the arena for Golden Grizzlies basketball. So we will move on now after a quick break here. We'll be getting into baseball and softball, and then Giovanni will close it out with the senior speech. Take 2. We'll be right back here on the GioMoShow for more Golden Grizzlies sports. Welcome back, everybody, to the GioMoShow. Getting into now baseball and softball. We got the diamond sports of the Golden Grizzlies as they're on the road for their away portion of the season. We'll start things off with baseball. So the Golden Grizzlies, well, before we get into the games and the schedules, we got news that came out earlier this week. I think it happened like at the day after I did the last GioMoShow from Tennessee. But we had a sweep in the weekly Horizon League honors by the Golden Grizzlies of Batter in the Week and Pitcher of the Week. For Batter of the Week, it was Brandon Heidel who took home the weekly crown for the Golden Grizzlies after totaling 5 hits in the weekend against Eastern Kentucky out of 10 at-bats for a .500 batting average. He recorded 6 RBIs in the series win, including 2 home runs, and he got a grand slam in his first at-bat in the first inning of the series closer against Eastern Kentucky. You can read more about that at HorizonLeague.com, but Heidel had a huge hitting weekend against Eastern Kentucky. And we talked about the Eastern Kentucky series on the last week's edition of the GioMoShow. We filmed it from the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee as we took the GioMoShow on the road for a little bit of a quicker edition of it. So you can read more, you can listen to more about the game itself on YouTube. But in another award-winning weekend for the Golden Grizzlies, Brandon Decker won Pitcher of the Week after he recorded his first 2 wins of the season against Eastern Kentucky, allowing only 2 runs in 6.1 innings, facing 26 batters, and only allowing 6 hits with 4 strikeouts. So congratulations to both the Brandons, 2 of the 3 Brandons, or Brandons on the Golden Grizzlies team. You got Heidel, you got Decker, and you got Nye. And last week, when I was talking about how we talked about the Eastern Kentucky series on last week's GioMoShow, I forgot to mention that this is the second that Brandon Decker's Pitcher of the Week award is the second consecutive one that Oakland has won. This last week's award was given to Hunter Pydek. He pitched 7 scoreless innings to pick up the win in Oakland's 5-0 victory against St. Mary's in the opening series of the season. Facing 26 batters, he only allowed 5 hits and struck out 4 with a pair of walks. So congratulations to all the Golden Grizzlies on their weekly awards, Brandon Heidel, Brandon Decker, and previously Hunter Pydek. So getting into the games that they have played recently, Oakland's been on a bit of a skid so far on their trip in Ohio after their game against Bellmare University was canceled. They substituted that one with a game against the University of Cincinnati. The Bearcats, unfortunately, gave the Golden Grizzlies a 6-9 loss before they headed into a series against Miami, Ohio. And in that series against Miami, Ohio, that's a good baseball program, man. Miami, Ohio is good. And they proved it against the Golden Grizzlies. First game of the series, 21-7. Miami win. 8-6 in the second game, Miami win. And 17-9, Miami win for a 3-0 sweep for the Red Hawks against the Golden Grizzlies. Not the greatest showing, unfortunately, but this is the part of the season where you got to test yourself. You got to sharpen iron with the iron. And sometimes the one iron is just a little bit stronger than the former. So you get sometimes you get a bit of chipping when it comes to that, keeping with this sharpening metaphor. But nevertheless, the Golden Grizzlies currently stand 3-7 overall in their first 10 games of the season. They will now move on to face the University of Michigan, that being Wednesday at 3 p.m. in Ann Arbor. Oakland have had a pretty good record against the Wolverines in recent years. I don't know if it's 2 years in a row or at least last year, Oakland gave it to the Wolverines, handing them a loss. So it's going to be an exciting game for sure. We'll talk all about it next week on the GioMoShow, but that's Wednesday, March 6th. They will face the Wolverines, and then they will start a 3-game series with the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. Rio Grande Valley. We'll pronounce it that way. You can watch those on ESPN Plus as well. That will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for that 3-game series against University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. And then we'll move down a little bit farther down the calendar. We'll finally get some home games of baseball for the Golden Grizzlies. Mark your calendars for next week. Tuesday the 12th, they will host Rochester University, that team just next door. And they will also host Cleary University. And if you guys want to get a bit of a game prediction, those are going to be good games. Those are NAIA teams, I believe, is the conference they're in. Not NCAA teams, but it's going to be... those are going to be a lot of fun games, so be sure, if you're walking by the rec center, if you're walking outside of Pauley Hall, look down the hill and see some Oakland baseball, again, March 12th and 13th, next Tuesday and Wednesday. You can see the Golden Grizzlies get some baseball action out in Rochester, or on campus, not to confuse with Rochester University. So, little heads up on the baseball there for you guys. And now let's get into softball as we're running out of time. So, the Golden Grizzlies softball team currently stand at 6-4 on the season. We'll get into the games in a little bit, but we also have another sweep of Horizon League weekly honors. Not only did it happen with baseball, but softball got the double trouble going as well. Batter of the week went to Jen Kritska, as she led the Golden Grizzlies to a 4-1 start on the season, finishing the week with a 56.3 batting average, going 9 of 16 with a 1.195 OPS, totaling 7 RBIs and scored 2 runs in that week for Jen Kritska to win her player of the week, rather, is the naming of the award. And then pitcher of the week went to who else but Sydney Campbell. Opened up the season with a 10 strikeout performance and their win over South Carolina State. We talked about that, I believe, last week on the GioMoShow. Once again, hit up that YouTube. We got that one with the Smoky Mountains in the background. Be sure to watch that one. And Sydney Campbell also finished the weekend with a 1.08 ERA in 2 starts and 13 innings pitched. Held the opponent to excuse me. I'm trying to recalibrate myself to baseball and softball statistics, but allowed a 13.3 batting average to those being pitched at. So congratulations to Jen Kritska and Sydney Campbell for sweeping the weekly honors for Horizon League softball. And getting into the week that the Golden Grizzlies have had, or rather the Cougar Classic they've faced in. We covered a bit of the Cougar Classic last week, but to kind of run down, let's get the first 10 games going. They face South Carolina State, or to start off the Cougar Classic, South Carolina State, 8-0 win. At Charleston, 8-4 win. Princeton University, loss 2-0. Charleston, again, 10-5 win. Charleston, again, 6-4 win, sweeping the hosting of the Cougar Classic. And University of North Carolina, a 1-0 loss for the Golden Grizzlies. Then moving on now to, they played in the, let me see if I can pronounce this right, Chanticleer Showdown. hosted in Conway, South Carolina. They played they played a few more games there. Let's run down the scores. Coastal Carolina University, a loss for the Golden Grizzlies, 1-2. Yale University, a win, 5-4. Iona University canceled. Michigan State canceled. Coastal Carolina again, 6-3 win. And Coastal Carolina for the third time, a 2-10 loss for the Golden Grizzlies. And that's how they got to their 6-4 regular season start in their first 10 games so far. Heads up on what they'll be doing next. They'll be going to the Indiana Invite. Hosted in Bloomington, Indiana. They will face Indiana, University of Dayton, Howard University in that invite. That'll be from March 8th through the 10th, so that'll be this upcoming weekend. And we'll talk all about it next time on the GioMoShow here. And then they will be starting an early series in the Horizon League. I'm scrolling down the schedule here. They'll be starting an early away series with Northern Kentucky, a team that beat them last year in the Horizon League tournament. Pretty sure. We got a couple minutes before I give my take two of the senior speech. Let me go and verify that it was Northern Kentucky that actually won the Horizon League last year. Moving on down. It was. All right. God, I'm good at my job. Anyway. So next weekend they'll be starting their away series with Northern Kentucky. That'll be March 15th through the 16th. Before they come home. Again, mark your calendars here. March 19th. That's a Tuesday at 4 p.m. They'll be hosting the Western Michigan Broncos for their first home game of the season. So that's going to be a big one to get down to. So we're coming up on home baseball here, guys, and softball. We're coming up on the Diamond Sports coming back to campus here. So mark your calendars. Go to goldengrizzlies.com for all the schedules and updates to be sure what's going down. So now, we got about 5 minutes left in the show here. We ran through all the Oakland sports that we got here. We ran through men's basketball and women's basketball's senior day weekend and preview of the Horizon League tournament. We talked about baseball and how they swept the weekly honors, and we talked about softball, how they did the same. So you can catch that all if you missed it on the GioMoShow's YouTube channel, either live here or posted later as the podcast version. But in these last few minutes here, I want to give a second crack at my little senior speech. The message I want to leave to campus here, we talked about the legacies that the seniors leave, in regards to the relative sports teams, but I'm a senior as well, and I believe I got a legacy that I at least want to leave. Whether I will or not will be determined by the sands of time, but I want to tell you guys what I want to leave with you for when I graduate. The message, maybe the title we could call it, Experience Golden Grizzlies Sports. This is not an advertisement. Guys, this whole show is not an advertisement for Oakland sports solely. It's not only that. It all comes from the heart here. Nothing of what I say has any financial backing behind it. I just want you guys to go and experience Oakland sports because it's an unfortunate truth that sometimes the sports at Oakland University can be hidden to the general student body. Sometimes it's not always the most obvious, and it's not something that people know off the top of their heads on how to find and where they are, and even if we have Oakland sports. Some of that could be the fault of the student of the athletic department. Some of it could be the fault of simply the student body themselves, or the culture that has been left behind, somewhat due to COVID, somewhat due to other factors. But what I want to leave with you guys, a legacy that I want to leave, is for you guys to experience Oakland sports. It's all on campus here. It's not like at other big universities where you have to pay to go to these games. You got to walk far to it. You got to go through traffic. You got to do all these things to experience your sports. Jump through all these hoops for you to be included in the sport that is of your university. Why should you have to jump through so many hoops to experience the team that wears the same logo as you? to see the teams that take the same classes as you, live in the same dorms as you. Why should you have to jump through all these hoops to go experience your fellow classmates? At Oakland University, that's not the case. It's easy to get to these games. It's free for students, and it's not just a product. These are your classmates. They wear the same Golden Grizzly logo as you. They bleed black and gold just like you guys. It's something that I think is important, is an important part of the college experience, is sports. Is to have that culture. Is to have that, no matter what's going on in your classes and your studies, you can go to these games, blow off some steam. You can yell at the opponent. You can go crazy, make signs, wave a flag, start a chant, paint your chest, shave your head. You can do that all as part of the student section, as part of the student body for your campus's athletics. You can't do that anywhere else. College sports in the student section is such a concentrated space of energy and pride that you only get to experience for so many years as a student. Now is the time to take advantage of it. If you haven't been watching basketball, go to the tournament games. We're lucky enough to have 2 home playoff games for Oakland basketball. We got baseball and softball coming up. Now's the time to get involved in it. The weather's getting nicer. Get out there. Experience it, because you only got so many years to do it. You only got so much time to do it. Be part of your campus. Get involved. Graduate knowing that you got everything that you could out of this university. Knowing that you had as much fun as you possibly could have by enjoying and experiencing Oakland sports. You got to go out and do it. It's a short walk from anywhere on campus. The Arena. It's a historic place on campus, and it's one that I encourage you all to go out and experience. So that will end the senior speech. I'm getting pretty good at this, huh? And 1 o'clock has rolled around, and I am reminded that the Horizon League honors are being released now, I believe. Allow me to verify. Forgive me, I'm kind of scrambling to make sure that this is the case. Because I saw Matt from Horizon Roundtable. He tweeted at Horizon League saying, like, "Hey, when are we getting these? When do we get these awards?" And he got an answer, and I believe it was 1 o'clock today. Allow me to verify. It is so. Let's see what Horizon League's got. That's right. 1 minute ago, the Horizon League, the All-League First Team has been announced. Let's do this live. Hey, we'll do it live, and we'll do it again next week as well. But the First Team All Horizon League are the following players. We'll word it better next week. Tristan Enaruna of Cleveland State. Noah Reynolds of Green Bay. Marquez Warwick of Northern Kentucky. Trey Calvin of Wright State. And Trey Townsend of Oakland University. Congratulations to all these players, all these wonderful players, for being the best of the best in the Horizon League. Scrolling on down here. Is that the first one they announced? I think it might be. The other ones might be coming soon. One moment here. I gotta refresh the page here. So that was the first team announced. The second team, 25. Okay, we really are getting this live. 25 seconds ago on Twitter, the second team All Horizon League has been announced, and the players are the following. It is. I don't know the names as well. Excuse me. B.J. Freeman of Milwaukee. Brandon Knoll of Wright State. Brandon Rush of Youngstown State. Pretty sure it's Brandon Rush. And Ziggy Reed, also of Youngstown State. And the final member of the second team All Horizon League, Blake Lampman. Let's freaking go. We got 2 Golden Grizzlies on the first and second team Horizon League teams for men's basketball. Refreshing the tweets here. Horizon League did not tag Blake Lampman in the post here. I will help him out with that. Because I guess I couldn't find his Twitter. We'll stay on here for a little bit here to get the fresh announcements of Horizon League men's basketball. Come on now. So first team and second team have been announced. Trey Townsend named to the first team. Blake Lampman named to the second team. And we got third team announced here. Unfortunately, we got no Golden Grizzlies announced to it, but to name them, we got Rashid Bello of Purdue Fort Wayne named to the third team. We got Jalen Jackson, also of Purdue Fort Wayne. We got Marquise Hastings of Robert Morris. We got Tanner Holden of Wright State. And we got a third player from Youngstown State. Their Twitter is not their Twitter is not helpful with their names, unfortunately. But you guys can go to Twitter, check out Horizon League. You'll find them as well here. And if anyone's in the studio kicking me out, knock on the door. Let me out if you're waiting to start a show here. But for now, we're going to stay live in our announcement of Horizon League honors for men's basketball. So in summary, once again, first team, Trey Townsend. Second team, Blake Lampman. None named to the third team, unfortunately. As we keep refreshing the Twitter page here. Let's go to the horse's mouth here. Let's head to HorizonLeague.com. We'll see if they got it all at once here. One moment here. See, this is called freestyle radio here. You're at we're here at the mercy of Horizon League news getting out in a live radio fashion. Yep, they got the whole article posted. So enough with the stalling. Let's get down to business. All honors have been announced. Let me get a sound ready for you guys. For those who are listening on WXOU. But scrolling through the individual honors, we named the first, second, and third team honorees. The freshman team includes no Golden Grizzlies. The all-defensive team contains also no Golden Grizzlies. And the sportsmanship... we'll get to the Sportsmanship Award finalists. Blake Lampman named to the Sportsmanship Award finalist. Going to the Sportsmanship Award, Marquez Warwick ended up winning it himself. We got Defensive Player of the Year, Trey Robinson of Northern Kentucky. Let me pop the headset on to get the sound ready. And for the Sixth Man of the Year, the award of the Horizon League is your one and only Jack Golke. Jack Golke named to the Sixth Man of the Year of the Horizon League. And in addition to that, I've been saving this one for last. The Horizon League Player of the Year is none other than Trey Townsend. Trey Townsend in his senior year has won Horizon League Player of the Year, just like we all hoped, just like we all knew that was coming here. Can't be called it early on senior day. And Trey Townsend is the Horizon League Player of the Year, the MVP of the conference. Well done. Congratulations to all of those in Horizon League men's basketball announced to all team awards. Women's basketball will be announced at 3 p.m. We're not going to stay that long here in the GioMo Show to wait for that. So that will be for next time on the GioMo Show. We'll review all the awards here also next week on the GioMo Show for those who hopped off at 1 o'clock for the usual schedule of the GioMo Show. But in summary, Trey Townsend, first team All-Horizon League and Horizon League Player of the Year. Blake Lampman, second team All-Horizon League and Sportsmanship Award nominee. And Jack Golke, Horizon League Sixth Man of the Year. Congratulations to all of those awarded. So let's wrap things up here on the GioMo Show. We're over time and we'll over time and we'll send it out into the next week here of the GioMo Show. Thank you to everybody for tuning in on 88.3 FM WXOU. Auburn Hills, Michigan, Oakland University. I think I got the station ID in time. Thank you for all listening live on YouTube, on the GioMo Show's YouTube channel. You can find it at the GioMo Show. Yeah, Eric, we got Trey Townsend, Player of the Year, baby. Got plenty of Golden Grizzlies involved as well. But from Giovanni Mosher here at the GioMo Show, watch for the podcast upload on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you here next time, Mondays at noon, here on WXOU.